Welcome back. Final game of No Surrender for 2025. So I've now got 3 wins and a loss, and I am playing Andrew, who's the other player who's come down from Auckland. Andrew's not been able to make it down the last 2 or 3 years, but we were very happy to have him along. And leading into this game, he had just drawn with Sam, so they were both on 3 wins and a draw. So they've both played well over the weekend. The final mission is hold the line, and yeah, I'm up against Andrew and his ogres. Once again, here's my list, hasn't changed. It's still got the Immortal Guard of Decimators, Half-Breeds, etc, etc. Hello there, Army. Nice to see you again. And now let's have a look at Andrew's ogres. Now, I was looking forward to playing Andrew for a couple of reasons. One, I haven't played him, but two, I've played ogres a lot. So unlike a couple of the other armies I've faced, I've got a fair idea of what can do what, and not necessarily how to deal with them, but what to watch out for. So he's got 2 regiments of hunters. They've got Ensnare and Pathfinder, but they've only got Defense 4. I personally prefer using the Warriors as a chaff unit. I can see why he's gone for the Ensnaring, but I'd probably, if it was me, I'd drop some of the Red Goblin Scouts to get one of them up to a horde, but that's just me. But he does have 2 hordes of warriors. I usually use 2 hordes as well. I think they're a very effective unit and good bang for your bucks at 200 points. Now, the unit I don't usually use are the Red Goblin Scouts. He's got 3 units of those. They've got a speed 10, defense 4 plus, 7 attacks, hitting on 4s, but from the flanks or as chap, they can be a real handful. So one of the things I wanted to do was deal with these guys early, because I knew they were going to screen the next unit, which are his warrior chariots. So the scouts are to get his warrior chariots into position to charge home. He's got the Suji's boots on one of those chariot regiments. They've got Rampage 2. I've never used the chariot since they've had that upgrade, but it just gives them slightly more attacks as well. Brings them up to 17 attacks against infantry, so quite handy. Crocodile Wrangler, I've only just started using him. Duelist, I'm well aware of that with you, Mr. Wrangler, and I'm going to keep an eye out for you as well. Giant with Rampage, and I quite actually like putting Rampage on the Giant as well. It's nice to go after big monsters, etc., but I find that my Giant gets bogged down by infantry quite often, so I think that's actually quite a good use for him. A couple of sergeants with heavy crossbows. I've not used the Paymaster. It gives him rallying to Merc only, so that's a +1 rally, and they've got the heavy crossbows. Defense 4 again, and finally the Warlock and Nom Nom. So I like the Warlock. Mind Fog I don't usually use. I usually go for Lightning Bolt and Drain Life, and Nom Nom's always a very good bang for your buck unit. So again, more units than me, 15 units, 23 unit strength. Hold the line is the mission, so you've got to take the 3 different sectors at the end of the game. And here we have a look at Andrew's army. So as you can see, we've got the Goblin Scouts. Those are more Goblin Scouts. He's got the 2 units of Hunters, 2 units of Warriors. That's one of his sergeants. That's Nom Nom, the other sergeant, and the Warlock in behind. And then these guys on lizardy kind of things are his chariots. But like I've got big boar rider things on mine, and finally he's got a mantic giant for his giant. So solid list, but he's got quite a few defense 4 units, so I'm hoping my fireball and my decimators might be able to chew into a couple of those units early if I get the chance. Okay, so let's have a look at deployment. So these dots here are to mark the area. So that's worth 2 points if you control that at the end of the game. The central area is worth 3. This area is worth 2. Like me, he's got a reasonably smallish army. So Andrew's deployed all over here and has left this area free. Now, everyone but his Crocodile Wrangler has got unit strength, so can move over here at the end of the game. But I'm hoping by getting my troop round here, I might be able to put some pressure on that flank. But I've got to watch out for that range from his goblins. On this side, I've gone for my Hellfane. I've got my half-breed champion. I've got 2 regiments of half-breeds here. We've got a hill between us. I'm height 3, his chariots are height 4, his chariots can see me. He's screening and you can't quite see it, but at the front there he's got both of his other 2 goblin scout units, and he's got a sergeant around here somewhere. He's got his hunters in the front there, and also in front of his warriors, which is okay. Most of my shooting's short range apart from this guy's 18. But I think what I would have done against my army is I probably would have put the hunters behind the warriors. It might sound a bit counterproductive, but if you use the hunters with the higher defense, higher nerve to push forward, then the warriors, then the hunters can leap out over them later on to act as chaff. They've got ensnaring, which is going to be useful, but they're less likely to be shot at if they're in behind earlier on. And but he's got his wizards and spellcasters. He's got a lot of shooting attacks actually, so I've got to watch out for those. But yeah, I was happy enough with that deployment. Okay, so turn 1, just advancing a little bit, and I think I actually went second, so not a great deal of action over the side. See here I've got my mastiffs in behind because I was, and same with my infantry because I was worried about his lightning bolts and things. Over here I've just pushed the Hellfane up. Now with my deployment, I think the 12-inch line was up near the front edge of this building, near enough. So what I've done with my deployment, I've put my units back behind here because I wasn't sure how this was going to work out because his goblin scouts, I wanted to use this hill as concealment, but I didn't want to push too far up too quickly because I was worried about these guys getting up to shenanigans. The other thought I had though is if I don't like the look of how things are unfolding, I can do a 90-degree turn, make an 8-inch move that way, and by turn 2 I'm pushing in around here. So if I keep one unit, or yeah, I could potentially redeploy both of them across this way, or at least one unit back this way, and I've suddenly got more mobility coming across here. But I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, but I deployed back here to give myself that option just in case. So just a bit of a shot from the far edge. You can see he's got his, this is about turn 2, he's got his scouts out this way, and they're facing out this way because I've got my half-breed troop out here, but about 21 inches away from these guys. The grotesque in here, he actually hasn't measured it. Grotesque's about 13 inches away from these guys. So I've got him in a position where he can hit them in the flank, potentially advance beyond and pass the giant ideally. Got the Immortal Guard have just come up to this hedge. It's not going to protect them against the giant, but it might do against the other things. The other Immortal Guard are there, and I've got a nice firing lane here for the decimators, and nothing can really charge in this gap. I'm trying to maximize the firing. This guy's charged across this way to try and put some pressure on those scouts. I've just got one of my half-breed champs in the front there, but what you can see here is actually what I have done is turn both those units 90 degrees and they're heading this way. The only unit that can see me because of the hill, etc., are the chariots, which are height 4. These guys are behind the hill, they're not on it, and so it means they're not able to see me. So even if they did want to charge, they haven't got any line of sight to do that. So it's a reasonably safe move, and it means I can redeploy, and suddenly I've got extra cavalry putting pressure over here, and I've got my 2 half-breed champs to try and slow up Andrew's army, or I want to target the 2 scout regiments with them. If they go for one of my units, potentially they could charge this one, but I've got other things that can come and cover it, and I'm not sure where my my guy. Oh, there he is. That him there, the winged, the overmaster. The other thing I've got to be aware of, though, just tucked in here, is the crocodile wrangler. So I've got to be aware of that when I am making my moves. Giants advancing. He's got the hunters and the hunters leading still. And what I am quite happy to see is, it's something that I do quite a lot too, is he's got his chariot stuck in behind his warriors. So it's actually going to be quite hard to get these guys out past this building. So if I can clog him up a bit, it's going to take a couple of rounds to sort that out, which means they're not going to be able to come in quickly to support other attacks. So I was quite happy to see how that was unfolding. Top view, very similar shot to the last one. Yep, here those guys, 90-degree turn and moved. And there's his goblin scouts turning to face. Oh, and actually this is the next turn. So he's now moved onto the hill, and his turn, the chariots are in behind, the sergeants are in behind. Taken 4 wounds from lightning bolts from Nomi and the sergeant, etc. But I'm in a reasonably happy position there. But what I don't think he realizes is that I want to kill these guys as quickly as possible, because I don't like the hunters with defense 4. I'm hoping to be able to pop them in a minute, and I'm about to charge those guys in the flank, and at the same time push my half-breeds up into this area, purely because the grotesque should damage or kill with his 7 attacks those guys. That means I'm in position to charge after that. And that must be at the end of the shooting, I'm guessing, because there is 3 wounds now on the Hellfane. I think he got shot by the sergeant with, yeah, I think he got 3 5s and 6s and did 3 wounds on me, but not too much else from that round of shooting. Okay, but now I'm up to 7 damage, so must have been some, oh yeah, his spellcasters were able to target through this little fire lane here and put 7 wounds on those Immortal Guard. Okay, so in my turn, Hellfane went into these guys, did 8 wounds, I think, and I wavered them. So I must have rolled a 3. Are they 10, 12 nerve, I think? So very lucky with that. These guys did 3 wounds and wavered those ones as well. So suddenly his chariots are stuck behind the sergeant's a bit the same. Sure, the sergeant can shoot at me, but I've actually gummed up his chariots quite nicely, and these guys are staying 1 inch away, right on the edge of the table, and can whiz round the back there in the next turn. So that was really quite fortuitous for me there. So yeah, as I alluded to a minute ago, the grotesque champ has killed the goblin scouts. Those guys moved forward. So suddenly the giants got to worry about a grotesque in his flank and the half-breeds in his flank. That other unit of chariots have now turned to face the threat, and there are no hunters in here because they got absolutely decimated by the decimators. Good round of shooting and took those off. So I was happy to see the end of those hunters. The other ones are in the woods, and I'm trying to and I'm wanting to target them as well as quickly as possible. So here we go. This is now about turn 4. Now, my grotesque champion got lucky. Look at that. He's wavered. He took 10 wounds, didn't kill him, and he's able to fight back because he's got fury. And also those half-breed troop, they're able to come charging in here to support him with another 8 attacks. And actually what I end up doing is my Overmaster is tucked in here, but he's well within range. He can see the ogres, the chariots, because they're height 4. So in his turn, he actually flies over to help against the chariots. The hunters have gone in against the immortal guard. The immortal guard have regenerated some of their wounds away. 5 wounds on the Hellfane, probably through the shooting there because of the disordered, etc. And the half-breeds are just chewing up the other scouts there. So this is the end of Andrew's turn. He charged these 2 units, and so that's, what's a giant worth? Are they 220, 225? The warriors are worth 200. So he's throwing 420 odd points in against an 80-point mastiff pack. So he's going to kill them because that's 18 attacks, and goodness knows how many he's going to get, probably 12 to 14. And these guys have defense 2. So they, spoiler, they do die. They get absolutely flattened. The giant advances very close to the immortal guard. And they hold. He's turned. Oh yeah, and so what I'm thinking is this unfolds if the immortal guard go that way. No, they're probably not able to do that though. Okay, so if the decimators do a pivot so that they still get these guys in their front arc, but they could do a pivot so that these guys can hit the, sure, it's going to be a hindered charge, but they could hit those warriors in the flank potentially, depending how far forward the warriors go. But as I was thinking about that, what I suddenly realized is actually if these guys move slightly, or they may not even need to move, these guys can actually charge through that gap there with a single pivot, and they're going to hit the ogres in the flank there, and because I think they're about 13 or 14 inches away. These guys are actually 15 inches away. So what I decided, and I only spotted it at the last minute, is rather than coming over here as I was intending to try and make a gap to support these guys, I end up charging these guys this way and those guys that way, because there's enough of gap through there, It's just the camera angle doesn't look like it is. So suddenly I've got 48 dice into, even though they are hindered attacks, that's 48 dice hitting on 4s with Crush 1 against his Ogres. So I saw that and decided to go for it. And here we've got the attack that came in here with the Hunters is actually supported by the Crocodile Crangler with his 7 attacks. He's got a Sergeant here, Nom Nom, the other spellcaster, and stuff. But this is going to be a kind of, as it turns out, this is probably the critical move of the game. Because I'd moved this way, Andrew had turned 90 degrees to come and support when these guys turned again, and it actually opened up an unexpected opportunity for me. So this is actually at the end of that turn then. So the giant advanced about 5 inches or 3 inches or something, just short of those guys. And the dogs are dead. And the Immortal Guard died. They got destroyed by the Crocodile and the Hunters. So that actually, I was quite happy with that because that actually opened up that gap quite nicely. So you can see it there. I can come charging through on that angle now without any problems. And from over there, I can charge through as well. And he's just going to go zip over there, I've decided. And so this is a wee bit later on now. I must have missed some photos. But yes, the two half-breeds charged and destroyed those warriors, and then his ogre sergeant came charging out and hit these guys 15 attacks from behind. The Hellfane had killed the goblin scout, surprise surprise. I'd slowed up these guys by using one of the half-breed champs. The goblins, they did this. I'd never seen a move like this before, and I questioned it with Andrew, and then suddenly it clicked with me and said, yeah, actually you can do that. It was brilliant. So what he ended up doing, because you've got to end your move more than an inch away from the opponent, he actually did a sideways, whatever, a sideways move. Then he turned 90 degrees and sidled sideways that way. I had never seen a move like that before, and I thought, that is bloody brilliant. Very clever. Caught me by surprise and got those guys out of the way a bit. But I think they were in big trouble anyway because he's still got 6 attacks. And I've put some wounds now, slowed up that chariot, and I'm trying to sacrifice that guy if need be. But if he doesn't kill me, this guy's then got a flank attack. So that's pretty handy from my point of view. Okay, now I missed a couple of photos. So I do kill the chariots, and I think Nami comes charging over and hits the grotesque here. And so the grotesque had turned this way, I think, and then Nami came in about a turn later. So in my turn, what I was able to do, the turn after this guy was wave, because he's taller than Nami, he did his nimble move and hit the giant in the rear. So I ended up with the Immortal Guard in the front with 12 attacks and then 21 attacks in the rear from the giant. Let's have a look and see how that turned out. And I did 17 wounds, so you can see that's him there, the grotesque. There's his big axe. 17 wounds, and wouldn't you know it, rolled a double 1. So the giant was all but destroyed. Then I doubled 1'd it, and that's because I did this sneaky run round that guy. Let's go that way, and then into him. And the No, hang on, which way were we facing? I can't even remember which way. It's a bit fuzzy which way he was facing. And he's the Overmaster is being attacked by the Crocodile Wrangler, but it was a sneaky move that allowed me to get past him and into the giant. Anyway, but he survived it. And just to add insult to injury, not only were the wheels falling off for Andrew, but my 2 hit dice were absolutely nuts. So over here, the Hellfane had gone in, hit those chariots in the flank, then reformed after killing them. My other guys charged away from the sergeant and into something over here. It might have been a spellcaster. These guys came charging. Oh, they actually came charging back through here and hit the warriors in the flank, I think, and destroyed them even though they were hindered. I think there was another round where I just rolled silly dice. The decimators have just been adding fire support. These guys are just trying to hold up the giant, but things are well and truly falling into place, and the wheels are falling off for Andrew's force about now. The giant getting stuck in, the crocodile taking on these guys, doing 8 wounds. Nomi taking on the other guys, and the sergeant charging them from behind. No, maybe I can't remember if he had hit them or not, but Nomi in the front as well. And then I decided to, this is about turn 6, to try and kill Nomi. But these guys have they move over here because this is about the end of Andrew's turn 6. The Overmaster is wavered but has survived the attacks on 11 wounds, so unlucky roll there. But these guys move over here to take that 2-point unit area. The Hellfane's controlling this 2-point area, and I've got more than enough unit strength. I've got 3, 6. I think these guys kill the giant and move in as well, so that I controlled all 3 areas. So that turn where I got into the flank of the warriors really changed things and allowed me to roll up Andrew from there. I was really happy with the way that I chaffed up those scouts. I was a wee bit lucky early on, but once they were chaffed up, it just prevented those chariots getting in when they wanted to, and I was able to also take care of the scouts on that side because I was really worried about how they were going to do. So let's have a look and see how I ended up overall in the standings. Okay, sorry, there was one more photo. So yes, things are not looking good. The giant's dead. I'm controlling the center area. I've got 3, 7, 8. I've got a unit over there controlling that. I've got the Hellfane over there controlling that area. So in the end, I get a good win out of that. So very happy with that. And there we have it. Final results. Sam won. He had 4 wins and a draw, 19 kill points, 94 points overall. I was 12 points behind on 82 with 4 wins and a loss. And Andrew was 5 points behind me with 3 wins, a loss and a draw. So pretty close. Eric was not far behind on 73 with 3 wins and 2 losses. And then Rob, Empire of Dust, didn't get to play Rob. Beautiful looking army though. 2 wins, a draw and a loss. So very happy to get the 4 wins. As I said, I go into these things wanting to do my best, try and win 3. Had 5 really good games, thoroughly enjoyed them all. Sam well and truly outplayed me in game 2, and I only got, as I said, about 690, 700 points, but all the other games I averaged about 1800 to 2000 points of the enemy killed in most of them. So the army was pretty good. Really happy with it played overall. So thoroughly enjoyed the weekend. As always, thanks very much to Mark for organising it and running a fantastic event. Really enjoyed catching up with everyone there and look forward to the next Kings of War weekend, which at this stage looks like it's going to be GoatCon in December, and I'll put my hand up to help out and maybe TO it so that Mark can finally get a chance to play in one of the Christchurch events as a player full time. But yeah, that's a couple of months away or more. But for now, that's all I got time for. So you've made it this far. Thank you for watching. Until next time, ka kite anō. Take care. Have a good week.